Tonight on KGW News, police say she went to the airport with plans to open fire. What the woman accused of pulling the trigger inside PDX allegedly told officers. Plus, why the Portland teacher strike is now putting some college plans in jeopardy.
And I'm really bummed out that I may not be able to go there.
And later, a toast to excellence for some Oregon wineries.
It feels very good. We're very excited.
The local bottles named as some of the best in the world. Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with not wine, but a new policy regulating how Oregonians can buy some of the world's most coveted liquors. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. It comes on the heels of a scandal and multiple investigations that rocked the state regulator. Catherine Cook is in the newsroom. Catherine, what's changing here?
Well, David, the state agency is increasing how often the public can opt in for a chance to buy bottles of rare liquor like Pappy Van Winkle. They're also opening up the process to an annual audit to improve transparency. It's been 9 months since 2 top executives were ousted from the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission. Their resignations, requested by the governor, came amid scandal. Investigators found that for at least 8 years, some top OLCC managers would set aside hard-to-get bottles of liquor when it came into the state to purchase for themselves. In Oregon, the state buys and taxes all hard liquor, then sells it to independently operated liquor stores. That includes rare booze like Pappy Van Winkle bourbon. The OLCC says each year they only get around 3 or 4 bottles of it. As first uncovered by the Oregonian, top managers at the OLCC would have some of the bottles set aside before the public had a chance to buy them in a lottery system. On Thursday,
we've got a new chance to purchase policy.
The OLCC board announced changes to that system. It's called the Chance to Purchase policy. Previous lotteries for the public were held about 3 times a year, with around 100 bottles up for grabs each time. Now, they'll hold lotteries quarterly.
I think that it's very important that we try to reestablish the trust in the public.
Rich Evans is Senior Director of Licensing and Compliance with the OLCC. He says with the quarterly drawings, they hope to increase the amount of items available to the public. And all of it will be on record.
So it'd be auditable and to show the public that there is no funny business and that we are above board in how we're doing this.
In the near future, Evans says the OLCC will use a third-party vendor to conduct the raffles. What won't change is how they allocate the rare liquor to stores. 30% will still be reserved for licensees, with the other 70% sold to the public.
Everybody has a fair shot at having these items.
Earlier this year, the state launched a criminal investigation into the case and fired several other OLCC employees involved. Also, there's now a policy barring OLCC employees and board members from setting aside liquor. The first of the new chance to purchase drawings will happen in March. David.
All about transparency and no funny business, right, Catherine?
Yep.
Thanks so much. New tonight, a warning in Tigard where there's been a cougar sighting at Cook Park. When it's not clear when the cougar was actually spotted, the city put out the alert tonight telling people to be aware of their surroundings and to keep their dogs on a leash. They've also notified wildlife officials. If you spot the cougar, call the Department of Fish and Wildlife or Tigard Police. Now to new information about the shooting inside the terminal at PDX. The suspect, Laura Patterson, appeared before a judge today. In court documents, police say she admitted to firing the gun and said she brought it to the airport because she wanted to kill family members who live in Texas. The shooting happened just outside the TSA checkpoint on the way to the D&E gates Tuesday night. It sent people running for cover and forced the security area to shut down for more than 3 hours. Patterson's defense lawyers argued no one was even close to being hit by the bullet since the gun was fired at the ceiling. But prosecutors say the charges of attempted murder still fit.
Ms. Patterson has expressed homicidal ideation towards her family members. What we're talking about with an attempted murder is, did she take substantial steps to that end? And the answer here is clearly yes.
Well, prosecutors have requested Patterson be kept behind bars while awaiting trial. For now, she'll stay in jail until at least the next hearing. Students in Oregon's biggest school district will not be headed back to class until the Monday after Thanksgiving at the very earliest. Tomorrow will mark day 11 of no class in Portland, with students already scheduled to be off all of next week. And as Thomas Schultz explains, as this teacher strike stretches on, older students are growing more concerned about their futures.
Yeah, it's not fun.
November is generally a stressful month for high school seniors, writing college applications, collecting recommendation letters, and accessing their high school transcripts, then submitting all that paperwork on time. Though this year, Portland Public School students are stressed for another reason. 3 weeks into a teacher strike, they're still waiting for their transcripts and recommendation letters to be sent to colleges.
I have been getting emails from schools asking for these materials that they're expecting.
Many schools' early action deadline passed Wednesday, and while some students rally in support of teachers,
get up, get down.
Seniors worry they may have missed their chance to attend their dream school.
I was hoping to apply to Seattle U's nursing program, and it's very competitive and hard to get into. And I needed a letter from my two teachers and my counselor. And I'm really bummed out that I may not be able to go there because of this.
Portland Public Schools says students should contact their principal in the district, who will ask colleges to be flexible with deadlines. Already, the Pacific Northwest Association for College Admissions has asked schools to work with Portland seniors. Still, as the strike continues, missed school has made deadlines and applications much more challenging.
And normally I would be able to go to my teachers, go to my counselors, whoever, and ask them to send these materials, but I can't.
Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Hey, you really feel their frustration. Stay with KGW for the latest on the Portland teacher strike, however long it lasts. You can catch up on our past coverage and look for updates on KGW.com and streaming on KGW+. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, starting with an arrest in an attempted kidnapping at Northwest Portland's Cougar Park. Now, back on the afternoon of October 12th, a father and his 7-year-old daughter were at the playground when authorities say a woman wearing only a T-shirt walked up, suddenly grabbed the girl, and tried to carry her off. 32-year-old Bailey Brigham turned herself in this morning. She's facing kidnapping and indecent exposure charges. We now know the name of the homicide victim found dead Wednesday morning in the Palhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. The medical examiner has identified him as 25-year-old Justin Sarton, also known as Justin Sarton Scott. Portland police say he was found with a gunshot wound near Southeast 122nd Avenue in Southeast Clinton. Officers tried to revive him, but he died in the hospital. No word yet on any arrests. And Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRemer has joined a bipartisan effort to get the FBI to help crack down on street racing. The bill, called They're Fast, We're Furious Act, would establish a street racing prevention and intervention task force at the Bureau. You might remember in June, Governor Kotek signed into law a bill that stiffens penalties for street racing and so-called takeovers. That includes fines, jail time, and seizing vehicles. Tonight, the FBI is boosting the reward it is offering to try and solve a triple homicide. Back in March, 3 young men, including 2 high schoolers, were shot and killed in North Portland. 17-year-old Eskinder Tamra, 19-year-old Babu Daoudi, and 20-year-old Patrick Johnson were killed near University Park in the Portsmouth neighborhood. Neighbors heard dozens of gunshots before officers found the 3 dead in a vehicle.
At this point in the investigation, we believe there were 3 subjects who deliberately shot at the victims. Even as the victims tried to drive away, these subjects ran up, chased after them, and executed them.
Well, the FBI is offering $25,000 for information that leads to an arrest and conviction. New at 11, Portland police say they have now recovered stolen holiday decorations and Christmas trees taken from a North Portland shop. On Monday, we reported that some thieves hit Bloke Botanical over the weekend and took items the owner says add up to nearly $10,000. Tonight, police say they found the stolen decorations near Southeast 105th and Herald. They also say they recovered 4 stolen trailers. No word on any arrests there. In our homeless crisis, we have new numbers that show how well the city of Portland is complying with a settlement over campers blocking sidewalks. The city agreed last spring to remove them after a group of Portlanders living with disabilities sued. Now, as part of the settlement in this case, the city agreed to remove at least 500 campsites that block sidewalks each year. In 3 months, they remove roughly double that number. Here's the math. We'll break it down. The report shows from July to September, city crews removed roughly 1,400 campsites, each with an average of 0.3. About 75% of those were blocking sidewalks.
Yeah, I think they're doing a decent job here. There's a lot more to be done.
I feel that Portlanders should be able to live in a safe environment without having to fight for it every single day.
Well, the city has invested some $16 million into its camp removal crews. You're watching KGW News. Straight ahead at 11 on this Thursday, a pitch for success, how the Portland Thorns are helping other women reach their goals in business. And Oregon's wine country just got a little global attention. The local bottles that just landed on Wine Spectator's top list. We'll toast to that, right, Matt?
Absolutely. We can also toast to our great weather, too. Interesting cloud formations in the Cascades, both above and below. A little view of Mount Jefferson in between those layers there. We've got fog overnight south of Portland. I've got pictures of that for you. Soaker Saturday, crashing snow levels and strong east winds. We've got the gusts.